I just went back and forth with somebody in my email, and he was trying to tell me about he was trying to tell me about how naive I was and how, the women are the same everywhere, how he traveled to all these countries. And I asked him specific questions. What kind of music you listen to? And he asked me what I mean by that. I said, what kind of music you listen to? Tell me your height and tell me your percentage of success with women. Okay, then I asked him a question and I broke it down like this, because a lot of guys will say things like, "Oh yeah, man, getting women over here ain't that hard." I said, "Okay, how many hours of conversation you had to put in for you to get sex from the average woman that you needed?" I asked them, describe me how they look and how they dress, right? See, you can't play games with a master when you are on a novice level. You have to have understanding of both sides, and you always have to have understanding of where that person that's talking comes from. I have been insulted a billion times, so I understand these people right quite well. Now I got this person up. I hindered this guy and I said, how many hours you talk to a female to get sex from her? Or I don't tell, but I'm saying, dude, the men like myself, we manage our time the right way. So come on now, tell me. Is it that hard? A week, 2 days, 3 days? He couldn't tell me. That was a bust one thing. I said, how you dressed? You dress average? You dress above average? Or you dress extravagant? When you talk to a female, what are the things you talk about? You want to talk. You talk about things she want to talk about, or you let her. You join the You let the conversation flow, with her saying the most, or you picking up a conversation. Which one? Which techniques you use? He couldn't tell me. I came exact where I want to. I said, okay, where you go to pick up these girls at? The club, this place, that place. I said, okay. Now tell me. The men who don't want to do all that, how much success did these guys going to get in this country when they don't want to do all the shit you do, even though you're better looking than them, you have more game and all this other shit? How much success they going to get when they have a planner and everything else to you? And they're like, well, it's not going to be so easy and blah, blah, blah. I say, okay, wait. And I said, okay, then if you have one side of women who's fucked up and bad and do all this crazy shit over here, and you got overseas the women who are so-called bad, but they don't do all this bad shit like here, and you new to them, and you get to have a higher percentage of chance, your percentage goes up. Why would a guy stay over here and have to do all that, waste all this time to get a woman who looks like this in another country? His highest percentage goes up when he could see a girl walking down the street. He doesn't have to take these plane. He don't have to take this ride, this plane ticket to this place. He could take one plane ticket, go to one country, and have a higher success rate than he have over here by going to 3 different cities. And he doesn't have to be this suave guy, this guy who dressed nice. He don't even have to have the smooth skills. He can just come in there being this, he could get away with being awkward because it's different cultures. See, and then I said that and I broke it down and dude was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I said, now you showing who you are. You one of the anti-passport dudes, pretending that you are passport or standing up for passport. I said the whole point of the passport bros and not SYSBM, because SYSBM is about a culture and a movement thing. Passport Bros is multifaceted. Passport Bros is about men's autonomy. Passport Bros is about men's success rate and getting them things that they want to get that they can't get here. It doesn't matter if they unsuccessful here. This country is not the determination of anybody's success or lack of success. There's people overseas. There's basketball players that can be successful in another country and be unsuccessful here. There's companies that fail here and they go overseas and they be successful. It's the same shit. You're taking advantage of certain situations in another country, just like there. And I asked the last thing I asked this dude. I said, "Do you see men overseas coming over here taking advantage of our situation, trying to date our women here?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't see them. They stay with their own." Yep, they know they have a better deal with their women because they look better, and the women here are too shallow, superficial. A lot of dudes overseas ain't really packing nothing down there. A lot of guys overseas ain't really out there putting in that work. But guess you know what? They got a culture thing. The women are attached to the culture. Also, the women are attached to their country. The women are attached to certain other things. Some women overseas who look like this would just want you to be nice to her because all the other men were abusive to her. You can get with someone like this in Asia, in Japan. You get someone who look like this without going through the fucking loop-de-loops of being this talking guy and all of this smooth guy, this super clean guy, and this clean cut guy, and having the right haircut and the right steps, and you have to understand the right thing. It was all about the success rate that you're supposed to have. It's about getting men where they want to get to, getting them the experience that they want to get without having them do all this other bullshit. It's about cutting down costs and cutting down the manual motherfucking labor to go get the vagina. You know the reason why there's so many sex you know that there's so many you know that where there's so many opportunities in other countries for sex, because in these countries they don't believe in holding back sex from any man. The ugliest man can get sex. The fattest man can get sex. There's just an opportunity around the corner. In this country, they keep certain women away from you because if every man in this country can get a so-called baddie, it means the baddies ain't rare. There's a reason why OnlyFans is a big thing in this country. There's a reason why porn is a big thing in this country. Because there's not enough good-looking women to go around. The good-looking women don't go to certain guys. No matter how hard you try, you still won't get it. They are reserved to a certain group of men. But in other countries, they're everyday. The everyday man can get a baddie. The below average guy can get a baddie. Even homeless motherfuckers can get a so-called baddie. There's homeless women that look good overseas. Oh, come on, man. Let's be real. Let's stop the fallacy. Let's stop the fallacy out here. When you're looking at people and you're looking at certain women who got certain attributes, you can easily find this in other countries. How many attempts you gonna go to the success rate over here? Let me show you the success rate in America. The success rate in America for you to get great looking women, for the average guy, it's about 30%. 30%. Because most average guys are not going to do all this crazy shit just to go get a girl. They're not. Especially if they just want some sex and none of that. It's a higher risk. There's not a lot of things. I ain't going to say that in other countries, in some countries, that the prostitution and the brothels, all of them are so-called safe. But at least they have certain things that they can do that you can go to. There's places, Dominican Republic, there's places in Brazil. There's places in Brazil, yeah, even though it's so-called illegal, whatever they want to say it is, the government don't do anything because they know that the men need to have a reason to want to be participating in society. In the worst ways or the productive ways. There's a reason why there's Mexican men out there working their ass off for a little bit of money. Because they know they got a wife coming at home. They don't have to make... Why is it that a guy from Mexico or any other country can make $15,000 a year and still have a whole entire family? And still get respect from his wife, but a guy over here has to make $50,000, $40,000 just to go get a date. And let's not keep talking about let's not talk about the men being homeless who could get women, because those guys are different. They're used for their dick size and they're used for their looks. There's not a lot of, you ask yourself, why a nerd, socially awkward nerd, can't get any vagina next to a bum ass dude who live in his grandma's basement could get more pussy than him? It's because the status symbol, and women are programmed to go to the guy like that. How many nerds can go out here and get vagina without a job or be charismatic? Tell me. Tell me. Show me the place where they can flourish at. The socially awkward guy. Tell me. Show me. In every single city that you show me. I asked that guy. That's in between the questions before the last question. I asked him, show me, because I know the socially awkward. There's a lot of so-called socially awkward dudes in other countries who highest percentage, in percentage wise, they can capture most of the women. If you see the different couples in other countries, you'll be amazed. Some of these guys are not even 5'3". Some of these guys not even 5'10" or 5'11", but they still have women. Some of these guys are not even buff and big. They're skinny. Some of these guys have blonde hair. Some of these guys have blue hair. Some of these guys don't even look like a certain guy. They don't have no swag or anything like that. There's Asian guys. There's Indian guys who got wives and girlfriends. They got a cultural thing going on where the men never lose. In this country, men lose. Men always lose, depending on what race. There's always access to a quote unquote baddie with every guy in the country. This is why their women look 10 times better than the women here. I don't see a lot of Indian dudes, Latino dudes, even white dudes running around with ugly, overweight women. And I'm talking about by average. They're by some average. Now I'm showing you these women, even in the everyday, you can find some of these women. There's guys who told me that you could find some of these girls working at McDonald's, working at the mall. So it's weird, right? And I asked this guy, also in between some of these questions, before the last question, I asked him, I said, show me the type of women you think are attractive, and I'll show you the women that I think is attractive to me. And then tell me if it's out of my range, if I can get these women. Because you always got to put these dudes on the spot on the kind of women they think are attractive. Because I can't listen to dudes who sit back and tell me about how easy it is and all that. Okay, tell me the women you look at. Because when Super Sly was showing the girls he was dating, I'm like, nah, they fucking ugly as shit to me. Don't be out here telling people how great looking women you getting women, and all these women are ugly as shit to me. That's kind of like posting food, or it's kind of like you posting food out here, and your food look like shit, but you say it's good to eat. Nah, I don't want that food, man. I show the women that I like all the time. And I know they're not located in this country at all. You don't understand. A lot of guys don't understand. We already see the books. We see what's on the menu. You can't take away the fact that a lot of guys see what's on the menu and they know exactly what they got to do to talk to these women. They just have a low tolerance for the bullshit. That's the difference between you and me, is that you would do it because you need it. You need the sex to rule over other men. While we looking and we like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Where's a better version of better choices than this? A lot of us look on the itinerary, we're like, where the better choices than this? Is this all you have to give me? This shit, I was handed this years ago. I thought the shit changed. I thought it was so easy. I thought Tinder was this. I thought all these places was this. No. I thought this is this. They didn't do it. They always changing the rules for certain type of guys. So why would you want people to try to be here? So let's go to my battery runs out. Let's go to the top places that these idiots try to tell you to go to. All the men were telling you to go to Miami, where all the ratchet people was at. Guys getting robbed left and right. The success rate is real low for certain men. And they were telling you to go to Miami. Then it was shooting and stabbings and robbings and killings. And then these people stopped telling you to go to Miami. Remember when everybody was telling you to go to Atlanta because the women over there are so desperate for men because there's only gay men there? Remember that? Remember when they was telling you to go to Atlanta? And then we found out the STD rates are so high over there because the women are having sex with the LGBTQ community. And there was swap sharing all that shit over there. Remember when they was trying to tell you how to go to Atlanta? You know, Ramil the mayor was telling you to, oh yeah, all you dudes you don't have to go overseas. Remember he was going at the passport bros. We don't have to go overseas. All you got to do is go to Atlanta and swap STDs with some of these women, right? Remember when there was guys in this space talking about how Houston had all the women and you needed to be the super player to get all the great looking women in Houston, and then the Houston bubble bust because people was coming out of Houston saying how bad it is in Houston. Even the so-called people who good with Houston, they're not saying that shit no more. Oh, Houston changed. Wait, but a couple years ago you were saying Houston was the best place to go pick up women. Remember that? A lot of these guys will speak for themselves and not speak for other men. And the whole point of when you online and you speaking for other men, Passport Bro, is all men. It ain't certain men. All men can be successful. It's a certain level of success that you can be. It's a certain level of success. If you are quote unquote socially awkward, you can still go and pay for it until you become more socially acceptable, but you already have experience already. The experience won't be taken away from you. You don't have to worry about somebody trying to rob you because she thinks she don't want to have sex with you. She gonna have sex with you. She ain't gonna enjoy it like that, but at least she gonna have sex with you, and you gonna be in a place where there ain't gonna be no bullshit going on because she gonna have to be under rules. Remember when everybody was over here telling people to go to California? Your boy Game Changer was telling people to go to California to date. Then he ended up being fucked over by a chick on YouTube, and all the shit went on with him. Remember the whole California thing? Oh, the women over to California, man, they so sexy and blah blah blah. Don't speak for other men. Speak for every man. Try to see every man. Try to see how every man does it. Every man don't want to do the same thing to get women. And every man don't want to do the same thing to get vagina. There's supposed to be different rules. Well, there's supposed to be different ways that a guy could get some and different ways a guy could date. That was always supposed to be that way. All over the world, there's different ways for guys to get some. There's systems set up for all men overseas. Just sometimes the system fails them, but they don't want to get that option. A lot of them don't want to leave their women to go to another place to take advantage of a system that's going to be made for them. Japanese men are not stuck to Japanese women. There's Japanese men going to Thailand. There's Japanese men going to China and going to Korea. Same thing with Korean women and everybody else. They're mixing up now. All these women are mixing up. There's a lot of Middle Eastern women who are trying to come and fill They don't know the level of looks that they don't know the hierarchy of looks that men are under in all these countries. Just like we don't know the hierarchy of looks that women are under. We see a beautiful woman with long hair and blue eyes and all this stuff, but her men could say she the ugliest woman on the planet. It's all about perspective and it's all about opportunity. Remember when there was people in this space saying that New York is a place to date, right? Remember when there was Axe Nathaniel, that idiot, was trying to tell guys not to go nowhere because New York got all the best women. Remember when there was people out here telling guys that even Philadelphia got women? Oh, I'll go to Philadelphia all the time. Yeah, sure. I can tell you, I've been here my whole life. I've been to other places as well. But here, you have to be a certain type of dude to be getting certain women. The Asian chicks, the percentage to getting with him is probably like 6%, 2% at best. It's an opportunity thing. The Latinas, some of them, you have to be in a certain cultural range to date them, and you have to be around them a little bit for them to get comfortable or whatever, right? But the high percentage for you to date them, the black dudes to date them, it's probably like about 10%, but it's still in America. White women, it depends on where you at. The black, I don't even think you should even do that. There's a certain percentage of that you can get in the city, but is it overall good for every guy? Hell no. That's the reason why a lot of dudes are packing up and going other places. I was told hood women will treat you better because they'll treat productive men like kings because they need you for money and all this other shit. That failed. We was told to go date fake anime women. Remember the go to this convention, go to that convention, go to this convention. Remember there was guys in this space telling you to go to this convention, that convention, to go deal with fake anime girls and that bubble bus. Remember everybody was telling you to go date big fake gamer girls. You know, the girls who go into gaming to get off their pass. These are the same women who are now on OnlyFans. The fake hypersexual women. Remember when all these women were out there talking about how good they are in bed and yeah, they can please men and do this and do that and do this. And then they end up not being that way and people end up getting pissed off about the whole thing. Remember that? Remember how some of these motherfuckers was lying on themselves? Remember they was lying on themselves, talking about how hypersexual they are, and then you found out they had a list of requirements that they wanted you to do before you even touched them or anything. But then you had women overseas who basically they got whole damn lines for them. They let anybody get in them. Remember all these promises that everybody was telling you from these groups of women, and then they end up lying. I remember those. So I'm showing you that you go overseas, you have a higher. That's the whole point. You have a higher percentage chance to get with women that over here requires way too much for any dude to do. That's the reason why you have an average white dude going to Japan and he can be busting cheeks within the day or two that he's there. Instead of him just sitting here sniffing through bullshit. Please don't try to go toe to toe with me in my inbox like that, because this is the thing. You have your own way of doing bullshit things, and I have my way of doing shit. Everybody have their own way of doing things. Okay. It was never. It was all about that. It was always giving men the opportunity because the choices was always taken away from certain men to try to do it the way other men do it. You can't be. You can't be. There's supposed to be a group of guys who are super socially awkward that could still get women because there was supposed to be a group of women who would cater to those socially awkward guys. There was supposed to be a guy who small down there, and there was supposed to be a group of women who liked those guys who small. There was supposed to be a group of women who liked certain groups of guys, but instead, these women that was in those guys category, they end up going somewhere else because they were told that they were better than the people in the category that they were in. This is why you got 400-pound women thinking that they're old a fit guy. The astonishing fact of an overweight woman who thinks that just because she makes a lot of money, she can just basically skip over. She could just skip over a particular group of men, and she could do the same thing that men are told they shouldn't be doing. They shouldn't be the so-called tricks. Trick. But it's okay for the females to be a trick. Right? They took away certain men's they took away certain men's they took away certain men options, and they gave it to women and let the women have the more options than men have. And then the men who do win, the men who are winning in this culture or in this country, they help that take away because they were given a higher position to keep certain men down and certain men out of certain categories. Like, oh yeah, man, those guys can't do this and this and that. They was the watchdogs of a certain particular dating scene where they can clean up, and they have to tell you that you have to do this and do this and do this, while they laugh and snicker in your face while it's easy for them. Oh, when they say things like, "Oh, life isn't fair," but once life isn't fair to them, it turns out bad. I mean, when these dudes can't get their way, they destroy everything. It ain't always the socially awkward guys who, when they don't get their way, they destroy everything. No, the guys who are told that they can get it easy, when it doesn't become easy anymore, they go insane. They go crazy. They like, oh hell no. They get mad. They get pissed. It becomes a joke now. So that was the whole point. People have this bad idea of passport bros. It's multifaceted. Some guys leave this country because they get sick and tired of being alone, and they have an option to go somewhere else and get married. Even if it doesn't work out, sometimes it doesn't. When they have a divorce, it breaks apart, and they don't have to go to deal with no divorce court. I mean, there's a guy in this space, I think his name Pablo, and he got a divorce. He didn't lose anything in the divorce. It broke off like real fast, and he walked off. The recovery is faster in another country dealing with another group of women. That girl's not gonna come back and say she got raped by him and try to get more money out of him. That ain't gonna happen. It might not happen. All the women that Austin Holloman been with, quote unquote, in the African community, now they talking shit about him. There's African channels talking shit about the time that Austin Holloman was in Africa. But I thought Africa was the better choice. Now he got videos of him talking about how Europe is a different choice or whatever. Like, dude don't know how to make up his fucking mind. But hey, y'all paying this dude's bills to go over here and insult y'all. I don't really care about that, right? I really don't care. I'm just stating the facts, stating what he doing. But the thing is, Passport Bros was supposed to be a leveling system. There's a reason why polyamory is not suggested in any country, because if you take away men's ability to get whatever they need or whatever they want, and you keep open the prices, you're gonna have people just walking away. You're gonna have society just say, "Fuck it, I don't want to be a part of this shit no more," because it's always against you. It's against me. It's against me. I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. It's against me. I'm out of here. But somehow, some way, they want you to do all this crazy shit just for them. Like, oh, no. You crazy? Nah, I'm good. That was what Passport Bros was really all about. It wasn't just about marriage. It wasn't just about marriage. It was about getting men to a position where they had a better grip of options and choices than they have in one country. It's like, okay, you telling me that I only can eat chocolate. You only telling me in America that I can only eat chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, while everybody else can eat all different types of other ice creams, and you telling me that I gotta be this super max guy and this and that in order to to eat the other flavors of ice cream. But then you see on one side there's other people who are able to eat certain ice creams, and they're not doing the things that you are told to do. And you look and you say, yo, you said foul. And then they say, don't cry about it. Just go along with it. Just do what you told. Do all this and do this and do this because we told you to do this. Do this and do this and do this because we tell you to do it. You supposed to listen to us. You supposed to do this and this and this in order to get access to this ice cream. And then you see somewhere else that you can have different flavors of ice cream and you don't have to do what these people say. Would you stay in a country that limits you to 3 flavors of ice cream? Or would you go to a country that will give you access to 18 different flavors of ice cream? That's the whole point. Passport Bros give you the option. Because a lot of men don't have options here. Men would rather have more options somewhere else than get married and settle down. Some people don't even want to be out there for that long. There's guys out here who say, hey, I just want to be out there for 3 years, have my fun for 3 years, and I'm going to get married. And they do it. Some guys say, hey, I want to do 2 years and then get married. Some guys say, hey, I want to do a 5-year thing and then get married. Some guys do that. But it's different patterns. Dude, they're trying to lock in certain guys. They're trying to lock down certain guys to do certain things that they wouldn't put that same restriction on certain guys in over here. These chicks need particular guys to be on a begging market and beg. That's what they need. They need certain guys to be out here begging. So they have somebody to go to after they're done having their fun. But once these guys are going and leaving, they don't have no options anymore. And it gets lonely. the the infinite men that they pick from, it becomes a little lonely, and they need somebody to talk to and dump their emotional shit off on other people. We already know what it is. It's not always financial. Sometimes it's an emotional. It's a lifetime of emotions that they couldn't do on these other guys, and they will put it on you. The guy that have to take all the responsibilities. That's the whole point of not of keeping you out, keeping you away from overseas, and putting this in your head that, hey man, the women are the same everywhere. Instead of telling you that, hey man, it might be different for you. I hope you find your experience overseas. I hope you find your I hope you find your overseas. I never hear that from none of these dudes who try to tell every man that, you know, all these women are the same. I even asked that question as well too. I said, can't you just be a little happy for guys that they're finding their way of getting women? It's up to them. You think that they're not dumb enough to understand and get out of a situation, or you think that they will get caught up in a situation? If they get caught up in a situation, that's on them. But I don't think that they're stupid enough to get themselves in a situation. I say, you think they're dumb? You think people are dumb to have this mindset? I'd rather them have. I want every man to experience. I want every man to experience certain things before they either get married or before something happens. I don't want to take experience from I don't want to take experience from other people. And these dudes seem like they just want to take certain experiences from people and try to tell you how to experience and how to look at things and how to have a different perspective. Or are they angry that you found a better way? You found a different way of working around their bullshit walls they put up for you to do. The extra work, busy work that they told you to do in order to get women. Okay, you got women when you was broke and poor. That's not me. You might got looks. You might have been around certain type of hood women or whatever access you had certain women. And these guys never tell you what these women look like. What they was, what kind of characteristics they had. They always try to sit back and tell you, "Oh yeah, I was broke and I was poor." And I said, "Okay, how about a nerdy dude? Can he get the same treatment you can get?" Oh well, oh man, like yo, look, okay, then it ain't everybody. They picking the select few guys. So can you not try to be out here talking about how somehow homeless guys are getting all this ass and all this other shit? But hey, you you try to sit here and tell guys that they can be homeless and not have no job and get women. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Stop selling that bullshit. For real. Stop selling that homeless and yeah, I did this and I did that, because not everybody gonna do the same thing you do. But now I'm starting to see, why it's everywhere. They don't want everybody to get a chance. I mean, when you go overseas, everybody get a chance. It don't matter. It's at every single level. You can pay for it. You have a better job. You have a better time paying for it overseas, and you got a better selection of paying for it overseas than you have here. The women will do her job 100%. There's this documentary of called Boogie 99, and he tried to pay for prostitutes. And one of the prostitutes said he was so disgusting, she didn't want to do it, and she quit prostitution. Which I kind of, it shows me how bullshit these females are if they selling sex, but they will stop at one guy. While you get overseas, they have sex with your sloppy ass. They won't like it, but they have sex with your sloppy ass. That's the difference. The women over here is just, they think they too good for certain guys. Even though they're doing disgusting shit with certain guys. They getting pissed on, shit on, and doing all type of shit. But hey, you can't piss and shit on me. That's the bullshit that niggas don't want to deal with over here. It's the option to walk away from people who think that you're lower than they are. And you don't deserve to be in their presence. So why not get the fuck away from there? It don't matter if you think that, hey man, the bubble's gonna bust because the reality of you having to date these people or this and this and that. No. There's always a better, different types of stuff that goes on. If a guy been over here and he listened to every fucking thing that these motherfuckers told him to do, oh yeah, be productive and this is quality this and quality that, and he don't get the women that he want over here, and he did everything he was told, he becomes successful, then you try to blame him. Then he goes overseas and he finally listens to passport bros, and he don't listen to the people who say, hey man, they're the same over there, they're the same over here than over there, and they become successful, and they tell other men that, hey, you could just come over here, you don't have to do all the bullshit that I was told to do. You could just come over here with this. Universally, you supposed to get your shit together. Be prepared. Don't put the burden on nobody else. Get all your money up, and because traveling is expensive. But other than that, once you get all your shit together, you don't really need to say so from some of these dudes, and you don't need to say so from some of these women. That's the whole point. You have autonomy. You have new autonomy for yourself. And you have new access to different women. And you can't let nobody else ruin that experience for you. That's the whole point. That was the biggest point that we were trying to make with Passport Bros. It was made for different. It was made for a variety of different reasons for different people. It wasn't just made for guys who wanted to get married. It wasn't just made for guys who wanted a so-called trick. It was made for guys who wanted to have different experiences and not be put in the same, not be put in a certain position where they told that they're the so-called socially awkward guy, or they did this and they did that. They got to do this and do that and do this. Because sometimes some of these people are not your people. Some of these people are not your people. You might not get along with millions of people, and you might only can get along with hundreds of people. And these hundreds of people might not even be in America. Oh, get with like-minded people. What, limit myself to these fake like-minded people and get trapped with some of these people? How did that work out for the black manosphere? All these fake-ass motherfuckers in the black manosphere. Mind you, a couple years ago, everybody was talking about passport bros. Getting a passport. And then they showed themselves to be, well, not passport men. How many guys who was in this space pretending they speak, or how many people you see in this space who pretending that they was on one side, and then next minute you know they on the SBE side, or next minute you know they're talking about certain groups of men. Next minute you know they acting like they don't, they acting like they talking shit about people. Hey, I'm just hearing that Tommy Sotomayor is now coming at passport bros, even though the dude is a master trick in America. Now I'm hearing all these other different people that saying all this other different shit. Hey man, that like-minded people shit ain't really is not really working out here. Some of these people are really, really motherfucking fake. Some of these people are really fake. And they only get around you in order to feel like they better than you. Haven't you noticed when dudes get around you, they try to bust your bubble? They try to destroy some of your hope. They try to destroy some of your dreams and some of your what's it called, instead of telling you certain things. It's kind of like me telling you, telling you that, it's you saying that the pizza is amazing. Oh yeah, if you come to my city, and everybody talking about how amazing the pizza is in my city or something like that. I'm just using an example. Oh yeah, you get this in the city, blah 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 blah. And then somebody come up and be like, oh yeah, man, it ain't that, their pizza ain't that good. You gonna lower your expectations. And then I look at them and be like, what the fuck? Like, no, you don't just say some shit like that. You gotta say it in a different type of way. Not in bitch talk, not super bitch talk. But you have to say it in a way where it's like, they know the reality of it. So I say things like this. Hey, the food has a lingering effect. You could, the first 2 bites, you could eat it, but at some point you will see the flaws in the recipe when you eat that pizza. People don't talk like that. People just try to tell you, hey man, it's the same over there and the same over here. Blah 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 blah. No. You have a better chance, a higher percentage of chance to deal with women that you couldn't do over here, and you have a higher percentage of chance that you get to have more sex than you have over here. Being yourself and not being somebody else, or being who you want to be, and also not changing anything about yourself and doing it over there. Because sometimes it's not the person, it's the people in this environment. They just like dysfunctional people. And you don't have to go to a rich neighborhood and, oh yeah, make a whole millions and millions of dollars in order to in order to go get these particular people. You need some money, but you don't need to be ultra rich for you to just for you to just go and get your penis wet. It's weird to tell men that they have to make 6 figures in order to date somebody over here. It's weird to me to tell a motherfucking guy, oh yeah, man, the smart guys are getting pussy, but they in the HBCUs. But what about the tradesmen, with skilled tradesmen that's not in college? Oh yeah, man, they getting no. What they women look like? What the women looks like? What those women look like? Tell me what those women look like, or shut the fuck up. Don't tell me that they getting vagina and these women are below average. Please don't do that. We got to compare and contrast. Everybody who said they went overseas and stuff, you have to compare and contrast. Tell me what the normal guys can get over there, and tell me what normal guys can get over here. Don't put yourself as this high level dude. Put it out there, the high level guys. What the socially awkward weirdo can get overseas, and the socially awkward weirdo can get over here. Please tell me that. And you have to break that down like that, because I'm getting tired of the negative. I'm getting tired of these negativity bullshit that goes on over here. Really am tired of it. And it becomes more of it becomes a little bit, it becomes worn out when people are like trying to tell you that somehow you're wrong, and oh yeah, man, they're not, you putting them on a pedestal. No, I'm not putting them on a pedestal. They're better out there. They're a better option for me in the position that I want to be in, and I'm in right now, instead of this option over here. Why would I sit here and have to do all this crazy stuff for somebody who some shit is not worth it? You can't tell me what worth it to me. You can't tell me that a video game is worth more, because that's my opinion and that's what I like. You can't tell me that a car is not worth it. It is shit because you think it's shit. You can't sit there and live vicariously. I can't live vicariously through you, and you can't live vicariously through me. You have to make it a higher assessment for every single body and say, hey, man, you know what? You can win over there. Tell them, instead of trying to destroy their dream of something, tell them the reality and tell them the limitations they have over in the country. If you've been to that country, tell them the limitations they have, tell them who they can deal with, tell them what they can do to upgrade themselves and go at a higher level in that country, and what they need to talk about and everything else like that. Break it down to them like that. Just don't tell them, hey man, I've been to all these places and everything else, but they just like each other. No, no, no. Because me and you don't listen to the same music. Me and you don't drive the same cars. Me and you don't like the same people. Me and you don't even look at the same shows, anything. That's why I had to break it down to some of these people and say, what do you like? This is what you like. This what you listen to. This is just we really different people. And I don't do the same shit you do. I don't let no certain people get away with certain things in my face. But somehow, some way, it's becoming a little bit real annoying, that somehow, some way they want to control what you like and try to put a cap on what you want to experience. I understand keeping people in certain reality, but at least in SYSBM, even they even give you the option. That's what, Mad Bus Driver tells you, man, if you want to go over there and, just go over there and sling whatever you want to sling, hey, man, there's places like that. You can get paid doing this because they need this and this and this and that. They give you an option. They don't really try to tell you that how, oh, man, you just need to live in reality. People live in reality long enough. Niggas was told that they losers and weirdos and they gotta sit here and dress $1,000. They gotta dress up a whole hundred. They gotta dress up like a fucking fashion show every day, or they gotta talk the right way every fucking day to every motherfucking body. Niggas already lived in reality. Gives people a little bit of a dose of something nice, instead of telling them some bullshit that they've been hearing their whole entire life. I'm all about some positivity bullshit. I'm all about positivity shit, not some negativity bullshit, man. There's supposed to be some type of expectations or fairy tale-ness in life. There's supposed to be a sprinkle of high expectation, a sprinkle of it, or fairy tale-ness in life for you to do certain things. And then you get the effects of reality. That's the excitement of life. You can't just tell somebody that, hey, it ain't like that. Because the women like that. The women are the same over here too. The women like that over here. I'm like, wait. Okay, wait. Did the girls say this? Did they say you needed to be this? You need to make this and that over there? And then they be like, no. That's why I hated this shit when there was a dude. It was on DJ Kuda's panel. And I forgot that guy's name. It was a black dude in this space who always in the drama and shit. I forgot his name. And he was going back and forth with a guy who was in. He traveled to every single Asian culture, Asian country, and he was telling men that they can go overseas. It's just you have to keep yourself within the novelty position. That means the novelty effect, where you are new, you are a foreigner, and you have to put the impression on and keep that impression. If you lose that impression, then they won't deal with you like that. And he was telling the truth. You are a new person. You can even come from a choice of being a fetish. You can come from a choice of being somebody who's fetishized about. That's how you're going to get high access to sex. Or you'll be somebody who is new in a life, and you'll spice up the person's life, and you'll become a novelty person. You're a foreigner, you new, and they want to teach you certain things. This dude got mad at him and said, oh, game exists everywhere. Game exists this way. Game exists that way. And this guy come from Germany. And he even said how different the rules is in Germany. He couldn't do certain things in Germany that he could do over here in America. And then the dude said, then you just fucked up your own reason when you say everybody and everything's the same. Even Man of Tomorrow said how some guys, not German, not that, that the guys had more options than the women, and they were doing the same thing that the women were doing over here that they did over in Germany, because the men had more options, and they had to be stuck with one woman. That's like that in other countries. The men could be players all they want, and they take advantage of some of the women over there. Even the women talk about their own men, where the opportunity. That's why they like certain foreigner men. So So it was this video that this black woman is angry because black men friend zone her in Japan. And mind you, the men ain't the only one going overseas. But I don't hear none of the men who said they went in other countries telling women to not go overseas because, oh, it's the same overseas than it's over here. They're not saying that. They ain't saying it to these women. So I want to show you, after showing you this, showing you these chicks, women, the features of the women that the features that I like in certain women. Okay. Now let me give you that right there. Let me give you this. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Now, mind you, no one tells black women that men are the same everywhere. No one tells white women that men are the same everywhere. No one tells them that, hey, don't go overseas because, well, you know, they're like that over here, and I've been over there, and you know, the women know this. They don't try to bust the women's bubble. They let the women go over there, and the women think that they can do the same. They can pull the same game and scheme that they do over here, over there, and it fails them. So let's hear a woman that's in Japan getting mad that black men don't want to mess with her when black men have a better choice. They have better choices in women than to mess with an American woman with a fucking ego issue.
My husband has not one, not two, not three, but four pairs of these pants from Publix.
Recently, I came
keep it with him, and then one day he followed me home and showed me the address and was like, this is you, right? This is you, I've had a guy follow me onto a train car. I switched 2 different train cars.
Now, she's complaining about Japanese men and the way they do things. Then why the hell are you in Japan? Now, let me tell you a secret. A lot of these chicks are failing in Europe. A lot of these chicks are failing in Dubai. A lot of these chicks are failing in Korea. And they also failing in Japan. But somehow, some way, nobody tells them that they're not going to win overseas because the men are different. I find it funny that these same guys who tell us that women are the same everywhere, the guy that was in my email telling me that women are the same everywhere, they don't try to bust these women's bubbles. They let these women do whatever the fuck they want. They don't tell these women to, hey man, slow the fuck down. You ain't gonna be able to win over there. Because the men are the same over everywhere. The men are the same everywhere, right? So the women are the same everywhere, and we shouldn't get our expectation up, and we shouldn't go overseas and have a dreamland of women and have more options. We should just stay over here for you to tell us that we got to do certain things for us to enjoy certain women, right?
And he followed me on each one, stood over me, and then watched as I got on Instagram
from America.
You know, they like fetishize us, so they be worshiping us and doing whatever they want. So I'm in heaven. What? None? Or the black men that'll be talking to me, and then when we get done, they're like, I enjoyed the conversation. You're so cool. I love black women. I worship black women. I wish there was more in Tokyo. And then we'll go over to their Japanese girlfriend and then talk shit about us. When black American men get over here, they'll be on 10. Y'all need to pipe down because they do not give a about y'all.
Now this.
Wow, don't that sound familiar? They don't give a shit about us because they say so. Isn't this crab in a barrel type of mentality that always comes from people over here who win? And then they don't want us to win. So we can't feel good. We can't feel good in our life. We can't feel what it's like to be worshipped by women. We can't know what it feels like to be so-called fetishized. We gotta sit here and live in reality. While these motherfuckers was able to live in an alternate reality where they can be broke and still get women, and be a fucking bum and still get women. These people try to monopolize certain positions in life that they think is only relegated to them, where they can get to be the dick guy that all the women go to, but that nerdy, socially awkward loser guy can't be the guy who women worship and go to dick for, right? The same thing with this fucking clown chick right here. They sound just like her. We can't go somewhere else and be worshipped a little bit? We already know that they don't so-called give a shit about us and they like us. But that's the whole point of the Novelty Act of going overseas, being treated a little bit better than you get treated over where you come from. A lot of us will live in reality. We know what it is. We're going to enjoy the time being that way. It's kind of like 15 minutes of fame. I'm going to enjoy the 15 minutes of fame, but I know this shit ain't going to last that long. I'm going to live in reality. And that's what people need to tell you about. Hey, dog, it's just like 15 minutes of fame. It's like having that. Enjoy the 15 minutes because it might not last that long. But if you want to keep going and doing this, go somewhere else and this and that. But somehow, some way, they sound just like each other, right? Every time black women go somewhere, they want you to pay attention to them. Just because they can't get Japanese dick, or just because they can't get a Korean dick, just because they can't get Arab dick, just because they can't get that, they going to rely on you. The black guy who they called you socially awkward and weird over in America, but now they want you to give them comfort dick over in Japan or in Korea or in some other country. Right? Right? They want you to be the backup plan even in another country. And people, they already got there's already backlash about her. People were making fun of her a lot. And this happened like three weeks ago. And I just found out about it. Shout out to Phantom Clutch. Shout out to Phantom Clutch for showing me this, because he had a video. I look at his videos, and he showed this he had this up about this chick. I keep myself when I listen to other people. I keep myself known to listen when I listen to other people. And I just found this shit out. Like, you're not this high level black chick, but you thinking that people gonna put you over, and oh yeah, they talking about me. Of course they talking about you, because you'll do the same thing to him, saying he's socially awkward and all this other stuff. Why not? We all gotta be cool niggas slim in the back. Not everybody can be a bum motherfucker and get away with it. That's why I laugh at guys who said they used to be homeless. Like, no, not everybody can be homeless. There's a small group of niggas who can get away with being in their grandma's basement and have sex in their grandma's basement and fuck women in their grandma's basement. Because they don't have any kind of shame or embarrassed to doing some shit like that. And the women could just always use that against them. But hey, ain't it sound familiar? Don't these guys, these black dudes who tell you that you doing too much, or you they're the same everywhere, don't they sound just like the women? Don't they sound just like the women who go overseas and get and basically be like, oh, why they don't like me over here? Why they don't like me over here? What happened? Why can't I get a husband over here? Why can't the Japanese men pound me out over here? Huh? It ain't the same for women as it is for men. But mainly this video was why in the hell do they want to fuck up your dreams of getting treated better?